Bradley Barcola to Liverpool. This would be outstanding. We're going to break down what could be one of the most exciting transfers in the summer transfer window, and more of a reasonable, more of a justified transfer potentially than the likes of Isak coming in for Arne Slot. This would be mega exciting because Bradley Barcola is a world-class footballer, make no doubt about it. We're going to break down how he fits into Liverpool next season if he joins, and of course, Liverpool, a bit more of a deep dive into what they could do in the transfer window. I still think they need a forward in a big way. They've lost Diaz, they've lost Nunes, they could lose Harvey Elliott to Leipzig, they could lose Chiesa. As much as Salah's fantastic, any major injury to him, not saying that's going to happen. Gakpo, Ekitike's young. I think there's one more needed in there. Obviously, Wirtz could also play as a false nine as well. I think one more is needed. And Barcola, for me, fits that bill a little bit more potentially than Isak. Now, if you could get Isak and there was no money involved, then obviously right now, Isak is a better footballer than Barcola. He's more of obviously a striker. He guarantees you Premier League goals. Barcola, we don't know how he'd adjust to the Premier League. Still a very exciting Champions League level footballer, of course. But Isak right now, 145, 150 million pounds. And Jamie Carragher, rightly so, on the overlap was talking about maybe a hesitation, a bit of an apprehension amongst Liverpool fans and himself about the amount of money swirling about for a footballer that has already had that position occupied in the squad in terms of Ekitike, where Ekitike could end up being a second choice for 80 million pounds, which would be a crying shame because Ekitike is an outstanding footballer, unless Arne Slot wants to play two up front with Isak and Ekitike, but that would still make it a very expensive combination of footballers. Barcola coming in for 80 million pounds, still huge money, but far more reasonable. I mean, it's literally half price compared to Isak. And it makes more of an adjustment into the Liverpool side because he's a left winger, which I think balances out a little bit more. Ekitike down the middle. I think Gakpo can play down the middle. Then you've got Barcola off the left. You've got Wirtz that can maybe play across the front three as well, of course, as Salah on the right. I think it makes a little bit more sense. And Barcola, for me, is a world-class footballer. I think he'd go into basically every side in world football and improve them. Last season, he was part of the most successful French side in the history of French football. Let that sink in. Treble winner, played a huge part in it, and people will talk about maybe the fact he didn't start against Inter Milan, but obviously made a big impact throughout that campaign. 21 goals, 20 assists, destroyed Man City in the early rounds of the Champions League. You've got to see the highlights. I mean, he sent Matheus Nunes to the corner shop, to the Londis, and he's never really returned. It's absolutely outstanding. 26 goals and 30 assists in 103 appearances. I think that alludes to the fact that Barcola is firstly young, 22 years old, so he's not hitting those 25, 30 goals a season kind of marks for a forward. He's got a lot of room to grow if he was to join Liverpool. 22 years old and already has the physicality, the stature. I think he could really make it work in the Premier League. But it's an interesting move because if PSG got a bid from Liverpool for 80 million pounds, they'd be doubling the money they made on him from Lyon. And if he's unhappy not starting, because obviously he's been semi-replaced by Kvaratskhelia on the right, Buvey's got more of a claim than Barcola. I think Barcola is better off the left as it is anyway. And Kvara is probably a cut above in terms of where he is right now as a footballer. And then you've got, of course, Dembele down the middle, who is absolutely outstanding. I think if you're being completely not worrying about egos, and if you're the owner of PSG, you keep Barcola because you're playing a lot of football next season, and PSG will look around at their competition. I don't think Man City are anywhere near. I think Real Madrid could be off a little bit. It might just be PSG and almost maybe Liverpool, maybe Barcelona next season. I think there's only 2 or 3 clubs that could really win the Champions League, and PSG could retain it next season. They're that good. So you would want to hold on to him for that kind of idea, but he's a big name in French football. He's a big name in world football. If Liverpool test the water for 80 million pounds, you might want to sell him, particularly with profitability as well. Doubling your money for a footballer that has been so successful for you, and again, scoring 20 plus goals in a season where you are historically good, could actually be decent business, particularly if PSG, like they usually do, have a French kind of young talent lined up, which they basically do every single season. He's an outstanding footballer. Firstly, the height for me. I like a winger who is a little bit taller coming to the Premier League, and he's got the physicality, the height, the kind of speed, the acceleration that I think he could definitely cut it in the Premier League. He's 2-footed. He's got great skills. sometimes you have to champion footballers who bring about this nostalgic vision of football. Kvaratskhelia is ironically another one, both playing at PSG. So is Doué, actually. So is Dembele. All of them are, basically. But this idea that wingers can beat a man, nutmeg someone, give it into the box first time, make football exciting again. And Bradley Barcola is exciting. There's no question about it. And then I think he could grow into the role at Liverpool. Barcola on the left, Salah on the right. That would be absolutely outstanding. And again, for £80 million, you're talking about a footballer that isn't actually that expensive. I mean, Nicola Pepe went to Arsenal for £75 million back in the day. This could be considered cheap for some people's metrics. Let's go back to Isak, because right now, Isak, you want him for 12 months, you want him for 18 months, you want him for the next 24 months. If he stays fit, he guarantees Liverpool 30 goals next season, maybe even just in the Premier League by himself. Maybe 40 goals in all competitions in this Liverpool side. That's how good they are. But what about his injury record? What about the idea that he downs tools? What if Real Madrid come in next summer for him? Now, I'm not saying Liverpool would sell someone they've just spent £150 million on, but Isak has got, I'd say, more of an ego. He deserves it. He's playing at a big football club and done very, very well for Newcastle United. But the idea that maybe he's made things a little bit difficult, he's tried to get out of the club, force a move. I'm just saying, you might be better off having a younger guy come in, have more of a starting berth in this Liverpool side, make Ekitike happy as well. Ekitike is a big asset for Liverpool. He needs to develop. He needs to play 30 games next season, 40 games. Isak and Ekitike, can they play together for half price? And it's more of a PR thing as well. I think Jamie Carragher hit the nail on the head. It's an uncomfortable feeling going after a target when you've just signed a striker for double that money. £230 million on Ekitike and potentially Isak. Seems scary money. A lack of potential planning. Is that something in the horizon? Is it Liverpool just cherry-picking good footballers to come in? I think Barcola makes a lot of sense. And that age as well. A little bit younger than Isak. He can mould, he can develop into the next star at Liverpool. Maybe be more of a replacement for Salah in the long-term view. Lots of chopping and changing in this Liverpool side. Núñez is gone. Again, you could lump that Núñez money from Al Hilal straight into Barcola, throw in 30 million quid, throw in a Harvey Elliott kind of transfer fee from Leipzig if that happens, for example, and suddenly it's almost like a break-even for Bradley Barcola. It'd be outstanding. Elliott, as I said, could be moving to Leipzig. I like that a lot for Harvey Elliott. Diaz has gone for £65 million. I mean, that's scary. That's scary. It's good money for Diaz, good money for Núñez. Good money for Kelleher and Quansah. Liverpool making big money this summer. Do not be surprised if they're going for a talent like Barcola and maybe get it over the line a little bit easier potentially. Potentially if PSG want harmony in the side, they can't guarantee Barcola starting games next season. Ekitike, Wirtz, Barcola, Salah, Gakpo. Scary times at Liverpool. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down below. Give me your thoughts. I'll see you very, very soon.